Ethos? What does that mean anyway?
I don't know. Let's ask some people around the campus. Do you know what ethos is?
Ethos?
No. Do you know what ethos is?
Ethos, isn't that like
Science. Or no, word or something?
I've heard of it.
Ethos is Greek cheese?
As you can see, many of us don't know what ethos is or have a slight knowledge of it. So, what is ethos anyway? Ethos was first used by the philosopher Aristotle. Ethos can be broken down into the 3 C's. Credibility is how reliable and truthful your sources are. Character is who you are and how you connect to your topic. And convincing is how you persuade your audience in a way that everyone can connect to your topic. Ethos is a very important persuasion tool in our world today. It can assist you in having an accurate translation of what the speaker is trying to describe. Ethos is in many aspects of our lives through advertisements and through politics. Unfortunately, this can bring out ethos in a very deceptive way. In these next few examples, we will show you how ethos can be shown positive and negative.
I will end this war in Iraq responsibly and finish the fight against Al-Qaeda and the Taliban in Afghanistan.
Barack Obama, Democratic nominee in 2008, promised in his speech to end the war in Iraq, which had become very unpopular in the United States over the years. Was Obama just saying this to garner more votes, or was he being credible? Was his ethos truthful? Once elected, the nation did not see this happen until...
Welcome home. Today I've come to speak to you about the end of the war in Iraq.
Obama kept his promise and ended the war in Iraq on December 14, 2011. So his ethos was truthful.
Martin Luther King Jr., the leader of the Civil Rights Movement, was jailed in Birmingham due to his leadership in the protests in the city. During his time in jail, a group of 8 Alabama clergymen made a statement about him in a civil rights protest. They said that racial segregation should be fought in courts, not in the streets. They called King an outsider, creating trouble in the streets. They also disapproved the tensions created by the protest, the timing of it, and the protest was against the law. In a response, Martin Luther King Jr. wrote the letters from Birmingham jail to combat this statement. He stated that all communities were interrelated, and injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of brutality tied in a single garment of destiny. Whoever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Anyone who lives inside the United States can never be considered an outsider. Also, King affirmed that he and his fellow protesters were using nonviolent protests in order to cause tensions that would force the United States government to face the issue of segregation head-on. Also, King affirmed that without nonviolent protests, true civil rights can never be achieved. King also declared that he had waited for their God-given rights long enough and that justice too long delayed is justice denied. He argued that not only was civil disobedience justified in the face of unjust laws, but that one of his moral responsibility was to disobey unjust laws. Was his ethos correct and credible? The answer is yes. First, King wrote this himself and had the connection to all these issues. He also had proper references to prove his arguments, like the governments in the South. Now we go to the negative side of ethos that can be deceptive and non-educational for the reader or listener. This letter, written to President Obama, is a clear example of it. This letter asked Obama to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which was a military policy towards homosexuals that they couldn't say their sexual status. While this letter could form a good argument, it contains several problems that cannot be taken seriously. First, it fails to identify who the writer is and what connections the writer has to the issue. Second, it does not contain research that is supportive in his argument. In other words, the person forgot to do his homework. Finally, the worst problem of all is that the writer mentions the word lesbian baiting. Some people might not know what this is and damages the credibility of the argument. Now we have put 2 examples into one, which are internet options. First, Jenna Marbles, a hit sensation on YouTube, is against the nature of ethos. Her videos contain funny but opinionated sayings that reveal her own feelings of the topics. These videos have serious problems with ethos. These videos are all based on her opinions and they cannot be supported by research. Therefore, the credibility of the videos are wrong for the viewing audience. Second, Wikipedia, the great website that everybody uses to write a research paper, is against the nature of ethos. First, anyone can put their opinions on the website, which can be a detriment to the readers. Therefore, Wikipedia's credibility as an encyclopedia comes to question and cannot be a legitimate research site.
If you still have a problem understanding ethos, Aristotle says that a good writer or speaker should have good sense, good moral character, and goodwill to incline us to believe in it. I hope everybody learned something from this project on ethos.
I still don't know what that means.
Good writer? Oh, yes!
You should stand up and let you.
Alright, I'll say that. I know, like the